So, welcome to you all for joining us this Erev Shabbos. And the first couple of points will be following up feedback from last week, as before. And so, last week we had a discussion about the minhag of shortening Kabolas Shabbos when Yom Tov goes into Shabbos. In other words, and I connected that with the union of Eruv Tavshilin, so that people that they should make sure that food is ready in time for before Shabbos before Shabbos comes in. So here we have several people ask, what's then the reason for the skipping of Chadodi, etc. Not the Chadodi, skipping the first Kapitelach on when Yom Tov coincides with Shabbos. So here we have a quote from a Sikh of the Rebbe. The Sidurim is it's written in Sidurim that the first 5 Mizmorim correspond to the first 5 days of the week: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The Mizmor Havu was Keneged Yom Vov. The Mizmor Havu Lashem Ne'elim corresponds to Friday. Okay. That's you can see in some Polish Sidurim how it says that each of those Kapitelach are kind of corresponding to one day of the week. So we've got 6 chapters of Tehillim leading up before the Chadodi, corresponding to the 6 days of the week, and then afterwards, obviously, you'll have Mishil Yom Shabbos, which is corresponding to Shabbos. That's another discussion. Now the Rebbe adds to this, V'yesh loima, shezeu atam. This is the reason why when Yom Tov coincide, or Chol HaMoed coincide with Shabbos, that we don't say these 5 Mizmorim. Ki lo masim oz la'arev in yonim shel chayil. You're focusing on Yom Tov, even though it's not Yom Tov yet, because you haven't made Mekabel, but you're in the Yom Tov mood. Now to start a Yom Tov thinking of the previous Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, yeah, you focus now on the Yom Tov day. What about the Friday capital? Ashenken, Mizmor Havu. Whereas the chapter of Mizmor David Lavnu Hashem Ne'elim, which corresponds to the Friday, well, Friday is already a bit more festive. It's already Hachonah LaShabbos. And therefore, it fits to say it. It's not. It's in other words, you're saying to think of the past the weekdays, when you're in a Yom Tov mode, that doesn't fit. Whereas to think of Friday when you're in a Yom Tov mode, that's okay. Therefore, you'd mention Havu correspond to Friday, but you wouldn't mention you wouldn't say the other chapters which correspond to the earlier days of the week. So that's the Rebbe's take on it in that Sikh and Tafshim Aleph. Then we have what earlier Sforim. So we have here one reason. This is from the Sefer Oitzer Kol Minhagi Yeshurun, who says it's got to do with Simchas Yom Tov. The fact that davening is a bit shorter as to Simchas Yom Tov. Then we have, and which I think I mentioned last week, that there's the minhag of those who say Bameh Madlikin every Friday evening. But when Yom Tov coincides with Shabbos, they won't say Bameh Madlikin. And Alter Rebbe brings there the reason, K'dei l'maher b'simchas Yom Tov. You davened Ma'ariv already, so the minhag the oilam is achzach to say Ma'ameh Madlikin after Ma'ariv, and so go home already instead of hanging around. It's Yom Tov, so to come home a bit earlier. Then there's another reason. What's the reason why we have why do we have the Brocha Me'en Sheva? On Friday night is the only Ma'ariv where we have a Chazoros Hashatz of sorts. Why is that? So there's a reason, because people will be out in the fields, and so there may be someone who's davening a bit slower, so you shouldn't have to walk home alone. So they drew out the davening a little bit longer. So when there's a Shabbos, which is a Chol HaMoed, so the Alter Rebbe says there, on Chol HaMoed, people are not so busy on Friday. Again, why do people come daven a bit longer? Perhaps because they come in a bit later, because they were busy. So they were delayed till they got into shul. But when it comes to Chol HaMoed, they're not so busy, because there's a lot of stuff you're not doing Chol HaMoed in any case. Therefore, there's less likelihood of them coming to shul late, and therefore there's not such a need to hang around a bit longer, and that's the reason for missing out Bameh Madlikin on a Friday evening, which is a Chol HaMoed. That doesn't necessarily help us for why we skip the 5 Kapitelach. Well, as I said before, it's got possibly because of Simchas Yom Tov.